Okay,
Okay,
good.
cool. Okay, so last step is after the intake, the needs analysis. Now we're going for the commitment.
Yeah. So the last step of this is really you launching your business. And at the end of that intake, the bridge is you want to see, do you have, by the end of my intakes, I basically say like, look, so do you have any questions about working with me? And then some people will say, if I haven't addressed the price issue, people say, well, what does it cost? I try to handle that up front so that people don't have sticker shock and then like not want to do something with me. I want them to think about that beforehand. But then I'll say like, great, so what would you like to do next? Are you ready to start? Are you ready to start this program and do and go to work on your 15 pounds before the holidays thing? And the answer is either going to be yes or no. Okay. And if it's a no, great, move on. And if it's a yes, great. Then what there is to do at that moment is to get something in writing. You want to get. I don't even have a contract. One of my value propositions, or what makes me different than my competition in my story, is that all my competitors have 12-month contracts, and you are locked the hell in. You cannot get out. They will reassign you to another coach or whatever, but you are stuck if you don't like it. I was like, I'm going to flip that around. I say I have no contract. In fact, I'm month to month, and that puts the accountability on me. That if you don't like what I'm giving you, then you can just go. All I ask for is 30-day notice, but it took a lot of risk out of this for people, and it gave a lot of like, okay, so I could kind of try this out. But get this, I have people that have started with me 3.5 years ago. They're still coaching with me. So it just that kind of thing. So where I was going to go with that was, what I do have is a payment agreement. I don't have a contract, but I have a payment agreement, and it basically has the billing information, like what's the name on the card, what's the billing address, and then down below that it has what's the credit card, the expiration date, the V code, and all that stuff. That's it. And underneath it, it says like, I understand cards can be charged, blah blah blah. Get that to them. When they say yes at the end of that intake call, you send that to them and get that back from them. Once you have that, you're going to wait till you have the right amount of clients that can sustain your needs for cash flow. So if you need $3,000 a month and you're charging, let's make it $300 a month for math, you need 10 clients before you launch. So at the end of your intakes, you better have 10 payment agreements before you sever ties with your current gym or your current place of employment, and before you go out on your own. Once you have those 10, give your 2 weeks notice, give everybody that is ready to work out with you 2 weeks of like, here's 2 weeks of stuff I want you to do to ramp up for a workout in 2 weeks from now, and boom. The last step is you open your doors and off you go.
Okay, I love it. So now this circles all the way back to the original question. How do you leave without creating a stir? How do you leave the right way? How do you leave without burning bridges?
Yeah, that's really good. Great. Yeah, so in the original question, right, the guy had already left, and because he felt like he couldn't be doing this whole process before he left, because it just wouldn't be right, or it would have stirred up trouble or bad relationships or burned bridges. And I think there's a couple thoughts I have. One, look, you can't control how other people are going to react to the things you need to do in life. If this is calling to you, this is on your heart and soul to go do this, and you need to do it because that's a part of your journey. And you can't, if that offends somebody or upsets somebody and they're all pissed off, and people get that way in business. It's weird, it's petty, it's catty, and it's stupid. But they get that way. I've seen it a lot in real estate, right? The best thing you can do is do everything above board, treat them well, thank them for the opportunity, and then move on. And if they're going to be upset about it, there's just not much you can do about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So not wanting to cause a stir that's a tough one to try to be responsible for. Okay, because the best you can do is be like, just don't cannibalize all their business. Don't talk bad about the gym. If people are like, well, oh, are you moving? I would, if you haven't moved yet, be like, well, are you going to move? You'd be like, I haven't decided that. I'm undecided. And by the way, everything we talked about, from the intake to the wine party to everything else we've done, had nothing to do with, there was no context about me leaving anything. None of that was about, hey, I'm leaving, let me have a conversation, let me do a strategy session with you. I haven't told anybody that I'm leaving. It's not, that's not important to why we're doing that. We're not doing that because I need you to know that I'm leaving.
Got you. Okay, that's a huge point. A huge point. And makes perfect sense. Okay. Okay. So amazing conversation. Yeah, from that one question. And this is what I want. I want people's feedback, people's comment, based on these 6 steps, about coming up with a business plan, every single item, what kind of questions do you have? Comment below. And if you have any other questions around personal training or the fitness industry, post those questions below, because this is perfect insight and a fresh new look from Chris and what he brings to the table. And we'd love to be able to dissect and unfold and peel back all the layers of your questions, because I promise you this, Matt, it probably didn't even cross Matt's mind about the detail and the depth that you went into on his questions. So comment below. You like it, you love it, you hate it. Give us the good, the bad, the ugly, and let's work through this. Parting thoughts. What kind of final thoughts do you have, Chris?
Look, I think anybody that is brave enough to listen to that stirring in their gut. There's a stirring that happens when you see something for yourself, like I want to have my own business, or I want to have this kind of income, or I want to have this kind of lifestyle. There's some courage that it takes to entertain that and honor that stirring. And when you have, I think a lot of people shy away from it and they bury it because they don't know they don't know how to move forward, or they have some self-talk that may not be the best, like I'm not sure how I can do that, or I don't know if I can do that, whatever. And this process is the best way I've found to shore up your launch. If you want to launch the right way, this is probably the best way, I think, to do it, because you're eliminating risk. And that's most people's challenge and most people's fear when starting a business for themselves is the risk. So if you just do these things up front, you should take the risk out of it. That's my final thought.
Excellent. Love it, man. I look forward to next time. Everybody post your questions, comments below, and let's keep the dialogue going. We'll see you in the comment section. Rock and roll.
Thanks, Josh. Rock and roll.